So, our final panel is called What is Bigger Than Your Story? And it asks the question that every woman has ever spoken her truth out loud has had to wrestle with. What do you do when your story stops belonging just to you? Black women shape American culture. Our influence is undeniable. Our visibility unmatched. And still, according to the CDC, Black women are dying in childbirth at 3 times the rate of white women. This is what happens when the most visible women in the culture are still not protected by the systems that are supposed to serve them. So, what do you do when the culture celebrates you while the system still fails you? You take what happened to you and turn it into something the world needs to hear for every woman who has ever deserved better and didn't get it. That is when it's bigger than your story. All righty, let's jump right into our questions. So this is for you both, this first question. Can you remember the moment when you realized your story wasn't just personal anymore, that it was reaching other people? I want to start with you.
Jewel has been trying to get me to speak. I hate public speaking. This has been something for the last 4 years. So I think for me, specifically to One Happy Mama, I am a single mom. I have 2 amazing, beautiful boys, and people would always come to me and say things like, oh, your kids are so happy, they're so well behaved, they're so this, they're so that. And I would always call it like a backhand compliment, because it kind of gave like, oh, you're a single mom, how are you able to do these things and raise these children in this way? And so that's actually what prompted One Happy Mama. It originally started off as a support group on Facebook, and so that's where One Happy Mama then turned from a support group into a full-blown organization. And so for me, I think that was the moment that I needed to experience to say, okay, I see a problem, and this is a solution, because nobody is doing it. And like, I'm really big on nobody is coming to save us, we have to save us. And so I think that was the moment for me that was like, okay, what are we doing to change this?
Yeah, just a refresher. The question is, can you remember the moment when you realized your story wasn't just personal anymore, that it was reaching other people?
I wish I could say that after I experienced the trauma that I experienced, which resulted in my son being in the NICU for 4 days, and it also resulted in me and my husband like for a year just not almost having like kind of like a PTSD. I wish I could say that that is when I was like, I'm going to say something, and that's not what happened. Like, I had a newborn, and we were just keeping it together, and I shared my nursing journey. I come from a family of women who, like, everybody was told that they didn't have enough milk. Like, everybody, even my grandmother. And I really wanted to, after everything that happened, I was like, you know what, this is gonna be the way I want it to be, for sure. And I posted something just like searching for community, and Black Mamas Matter Alliance saw that. And they invited me to speak at they're the organization that coined Black Maternal Health Week.
Yes.
And it was their 2nd annual convening in Atlanta, and they invited me to talk about breastfeeding, to just talk about that. Nobody knew what I had experienced. By the time, months later after the invitation, by the time I was there, I was actually a couple months pregnant. I knew, you know, it was very early, but I was also terrified, and I didn't know where to turn or how to keep us safe. And as God would have it, I'm sitting in a room with 300 reproductive justice advocates, Black midwives, Indigenous midwives, doulas. And I think that's when I started to share what had happened, because I finally was in like a safe space, and having that community let me know that I wasn't alone, and that's when my education started. And so when I was sharing, it was really to, if I had known this, you know, my oldest is 9 now, so that was like, it was a while ago. No, my youngest, I was pregnant with him. He's about to be 7. If I had known, I just wanted to share. And then every single room I was in where I shared, after the panel or after the amount of people, women, men, grandmothers, like multi-generational, who would come up to me afterwards with their own story, then I realized like, oh, not only am I not alone, but I had grandmothers like come up to me. I've had people come up to me and say, I've never told anyone this before, but this is what happened to me, or this is what, that's when I started to realize like, I don't know if I'm answering your question, but that our stories, there was a space missing. I think those spaces are growing. This is one of those spaces, but there is space missing for us to just share what we've experienced, and not just the traumatic things, also the joyful things and what brought that about. Those spaces, I think culturally, that got yanked at some point, and now we're living through a time where it's being rebuilt.
Yeah. So this next question is for both of you, and you both kind of like talked a little bit about it, but we're gonna double down on it. Before the moments, for you it was moments, right? And for you it was like moments, right? About what made you start One Happy Mama, how you came to start telling your story, your whole story, not just your nursing journey. But what did you think your story was, and how did that understanding change? Like, you talked a little bit about it. So Tatyana, I don't know if you want to like add on to what you were talking about. You were in the room, the safe space of 300 advocates, and then you started realizing, oh, my story is not just the nursing story. Because I feel like the nursing story has almost been has been pushed aside. It's about
that's why lactation is so important.
Yes.
It's an entry point.
Yes.
That's the entry point. The first person who asked me, how did it go? And I have my little baby, was a lactation consultant. And I shared with her things that nobody else asked in the hospital. And I just remember like crumbling in front of her. And actually the reason I did was because she said, I saw the look on her face. And then all of a sudden I realized, yeah, something bad happened. I know that sounds crazy, but there's so much gaslighting that can happen in the hospital. And that's bad. Right, that's not normal, right. But the fullness of my story is not only what happened in the hospital, the fullness of my story and what I testified in Congress about, and actually what radicalized me was working with a Black midwife during my second pregnancy and birth. I had never experienced anything like that before.
Black midwives in the house, lactation counselors, doulas. Yeah.
Yes, I hadn't felt that before. What it's like for somebody to, like, all the choices. My body is mine. Safety precautions, meetings that aren't 15 minutes long. Is a little graphic, but not having gynecological exams every single time you're there and the pregnancy is going fine. What is that for? I remember the surprise of being like, you're not gonna, she's like, why do I need to go there for? Everything's fine. I mean, it's just so different, and the care is so real. The respect is so real. The autonomy is so real. And then you start to, when you have that experience, you start to look at other areas of your life, and it starts to grow that expectation of the best, because we deserve to be loved on and cared for at that time in our lives, and always. So that's when you say, like, what's the fullness of your story? That's the fullness. That's the fullness, is what's possible.
I think for me, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I think I have a story. I did. In both instances, when I started with One Happy Mom, like, school, we like make comments about like my mother's journey and how they're so inspired about like how I am as a mom. I did what I was supposed to do. Like, I was raised by a very strong woman who sits back there, my mom. So I just did what I seen her do, right? Like, wake up every day and show up for these kids. So I honestly didn't think I had a story. And even when I gave birth to both of my sons, the first go round when I went in, the nurse told me she was not impressed by my contraction. She was gonna send me home. And
Impressed. The language.
she was watching my contraction on the monitor, And so I remember I was with my cousin. I remember thinking, she is mean, and that's how I rationalized. Like I didn't think it was something that was actually happening to other people. I just thought she was mean. And then even when I gave birth to my second, because I had contractions after I gave birth, I was already moved to the recovery room, and I kept calling. It was actually my stepdad who went and was like, somebody needs to go to her room because we kept calling and nobody came. And so even in that moment, I didn't realize that it was a story. I just thought that they were mean. I didn't know that it was a thing. And so for me, I don't think I ever realized until I started doing this work that no, I have a story and we all have stories. We're not just living and moving, right? And I think for me that's what it's been.
Yeah, impressed. That's such offensive language. So sorry that happened. That's it. You've lived parts of your life in the public eye. What has it required of you to share your story with intention, not just visibility?
That's a really good question because I don't go into every room that I'm invited into. And I had to learn that there is, actually my first beginnings of understanding this dynamic was with an Indigenous midwife who, she had a birth center in Mexico that's on Nicole Gonzalez, and I don't think it's there anymore. But I was doing a documentary just on my own because I really just wanted to capture everything I was learning. And it was during the pandemic, so I was doing it. And this was the first inkling of like, not everybody is listening to your story for the same reason. So I'm very careful. I'm led by my intuition as to what spaces and places I come to, because there are some spaces and places that are actually loaded with funding, where our stories are like it's a harsh thing I'm gonna say, but I think it's true. It's like a form of entertainment, and it's a form of commerce, and I don't want to be doing that. I'm not lending myself to that. So I'm careful because it's mine, and it's not easy to come to go to that place, to go to these places, in our lives. And sometimes I'm a mom right now. Like I got to move. Yeah. Like I got things to do. I got babies to feed, make sure they're reading, make sure that all the stuff is going on. I don't have time to be, wallowing in stuff. But it requires a certain energy that only belongs in safe places.
I can imagine, and thank you for saying yes to our invitation.
Yes.
Thank you. So, Janitza, as you built One Happy Mama, when did your personal experience become something bigger than you? Something other women needed?
I think for me it was as we started working with the moms that we work with. So One Happy Mama, aside from the community aspect of it, we are a mentoring program for young moms. And so being able to create this safe space for the young moms that we work with, and being able to just kind of hear their story, what they're going through, and being able to encourage them to push forward. Because like you say, we are moms, so it's like we also are like not just navigating who we are as individuals. Like when I first started, we are generation makers. We are, without us, the world ends. And so I think for me, it was being able to work directly with those moms and seeing us take like what they need and being able to be the resource for them.
Thank you for that. So this question is for both of you. Was there a moment you hesitated where you thought that this might be too much to share? And what made you move forward anyway?
I think I have those moments a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you, especially when we work with our moms. I kind of battle with, again, I was an educator, so I've worked with the youth for a really long time, so I understand how you have to be very transparent with the youth if you really want to create that safe space and make space, like a space for them to be able to share. But in that also puts like a level of expectation on yourself, because now I have to tell you about the things that I did when I was ready and the bad mistakes that I made. And so I always hesitate a little bit with how transparent do I want to be with my girl? that I've worked through. Like, do I really want to tell you the things that I did when I was 18, when I was 19? And so I have those moments a lot. But for me, I always push through. I think that they need that to see, like, you aren't defined by your mistakes. Like, right now, this is the season that you're in, but eventually moving forward from it.
Black Maternal Health Week, this block party, these panel discussions, they're important to have because we're talking about solutions. We're talking about, we talk to a mentor and a mentee about why we need each other, why the mentor needs the mentee, and what that relationship is. We talk to someone who started a reproductive health clinic after Planned Parenthood closed. And so she saw herself like, you know what, I have a solution for that problem, right? We talked to a woman who is a pharmacist but had high blood pressure that she had ignored, right? And so these are people who are creating solutions. One Happy Mama is a solution. The work that you're doing is a solution. And I want to go back to the storytelling. Tell us about your new book.
My book. Oh, can I just say one thing from what you're saying?
I sparked something.
Yeah, but it's something that I wanna share. Well, number one, the Momnibus bill is back on the floor. You call your representative. It only needs. It has. I just did an IG live with Lauren Underwood today, and Charles Johnson, and it only needs, what is it, 12? They only need 12 more Congress people to sign off to pass it. It is landmark legislation, and it would help solve, from everything down from insurance, coverage, being able to hold hospitals accountable. There are so many pieces to this bill that would really change the landscape for us. So that I want to say that before I get into the book. And I also want to say that part of why Baby Yams, a portion of the proceeds go to grants and scholarships for Black and Indigenous midwives and doulas. But part of the reason why I did it is because I kept visiting places all across the country where we are solving all of these problems. There are new healthcare systems being built by Black women all over this country. And I want to leave that with y'all, like, it is happening. Like, it is happening right now. You're doing it right now. And you are, whether you know it, in partnership with all of these organizations all across the country. It's extremely powerful because it has to be localized, and it has to be you solving in your community, seeing the need, and making sure that your community has what it needs, and it looks slightly different. It's incredibly powerful. I just wanted to say that because that's what you were saying about solutions.
Thank you, solutions.
Because the biggest thing when you talk about systemic issues, I'm telling you, the biggest wool over your eye is that what you have isn't good enough. Please know how valuable it is. Like, know how valuable this is. That's the biggest thing, is that, that over there it's better. No, it's not. What you have is so valuable. Then investors and everybody else would be bringing what we need. That part.
So look, I can keep going. We all could keep going.
I know, I'm sorry.
No apologies required or accepted because they're not needed. So we have, we're a little bit, like, our schedule, this has been a great day. Our schedule's a little bit all over the place. So I think we're going to talk about the book, and then we also have a special book reading. So we're going to talk a little bit about the book. Well, no need to make it brief. I want you to pause, drink a sip of water, and then get ready for your reading of the book. So I don't even know how to end this. I don't want to end it. So I'm just going to a word from you, and then we're going to talk about the book, pause, and then Tatyana is going to read from her new book, her children's book.
Don't like to give a closing statement.
Just whatever's on your heart.
Whatever's on my heart. I think that I think I'm going to lead with the word, and that's going to be community. We all need each other. And that's why it's so important that we bring our community partners in, because there are so many resources. We have what we need. We just have to make sure that we are bringing it to the people who need it the most. And so for me, I think I'm going to close off with the word community, and just ask that we keep showing up for each other, ask that we continue to love on our mamas, and, keep it going.